My name is Crystal Nguyen, and I'm 28 years old. For a long time, I thought the hardest part of a relationship was learning how to love someone else. I was wrong. The hardest part is realizing when loving them means disappearing yourself. When my boyfriend and I first started dating, it felt easy, natural, almost suspiciously perfect. He texted me every morning, random thoughts, songs that reminded him of me, late night calls where we talked about nothing until one of us fell asleep. I felt chosen, not tolerated, chosen. For the first 4 months, I never questioned where I stood. Then, month 5 arrived quietly. No argument, no breakup conversation, just distance. Replies took longer, plans became vague. Busy replaced, when do you want to see me? I told myself not to overthink it. People get stressed. People need space. I gave him room without being asked. But something didn't sit right. He'd tell me he was exhausted, too tired to see me, then post photos out with friends that same night. Smiling, drinks raised, living fully. Just not with me. When I finally brought it up, carefully, gently, he sighed like I'd accused him of a crime. You're keeping tabs on me, Crystal. That's controlling. That word landed hard. Controlling. I replayed the conversation for days, wondering how wanting honesty had turned into a character flaw. 6 weeks ago, everything cracked. I asked if he wanted to get dinner on a Friday. He didn't respond. Not that night, not the next day. 2 days later, a message finally came through. It wasn't kind. It was surgical. He told me I was exhausting, that my need for reassurance was suffocating him, that he couldn't breathe when I expected replies or asked to see him. Then he laid down the rule. From now on, he would decide when we talked. He would reach out when he wanted, and I was to stop bothering him unless he initiated. If you can't respect that, he wrote, maybe we need to reconsider this relationship. I read that message over and over, trying to locate the version of myself he was describing. I counted my texts, 5 in an entire week. None demanding, none desperate. Still doubt crept in, quiet, poisonous. Maybe I was too much. My friends didn't see it that way. They read the messages, listened, and then said something I wasn't ready to hear, that this wasn't about boundaries. It was about control, about keeping me uncertain, grateful for scraps of attention, afraid to ask for more. That night, I made a decision. Not out of spite, not to punish him, but because I needed to know who I was without constantly waiting to be allowed into my own relationship. So I followed his rules. Exactly. I stopped initiating, muted notifications, turned off read receipts, and went quiet. The silence was painful at first, reflexively reaching for my phone, catching myself mid-text, but slowly, something else replaced the anxiety. Peace, and I didn't yet know it, but that peace was about to terrify him. The first few days of silence felt like withdrawal. I'd pick up my phone without thinking, my fingers already moving before my brain caught up. Every time, I stopped myself, not because I was trying to win, but because I was tired of begging for permission to exist. Instead of staring at my screen, I filled the space. I started going to the gym again. Early mornings, headphones in, anger sweating out of my pores. I spent more time with friends who didn't make me feel like I was an inconvenience. I signed up for a weekend ceramics class on a whim, just to prove to myself I could still choose things without asking anyone first. 2 weeks passed. Complete silence from me. And at first, nothing from him either. That hurt more than I expected. It confirmed the thought I'd been trying to ignore. Maybe he really wasn't that invested anymore. I was starting to make peace with that when my phone lit up. Him. Just one message. Hey, what's up? I stared at it longer than I should have. The old me would have replied instantly, would have tried to sound casual while secretly relieved. This time I didn't. I was helping a friend move furniture. My phone stayed in my bag. 6 hours passed before I even looked again. There were more messages now. Did you see my text? Are you okay? I replied with one sentence. Yeah, I'm good, just busy. His response came in under a minute. Busy with what? I didn't answer. That's when things shifted. His messages started coming faster, less curious, more sharp. Why are you acting weird? Did I do something wrong? This is immature, Crystal. That one almost made me laugh. The man who told me my presence was suffocating him was now upset that I wasn't orbiting fast enough. What surprised me most wasn't his reaction. It was mine. I wasn't angry. I wasn't hurt. I was detached. That scared me, because it meant I'd already let go more than I realized. A few nights later, I was at a small dinner with friends. Someone asked how things were going with him. I told the truth. I feel lighter, I said, like I stopped carrying something that was never mine to hold. One of my friends looked at me and said quietly, "That's not how love is supposed to feel." She was right. Around the 2-week mark, the text stopped. The calls started. Seeing his name pop up on my screen didn't give me butterflies anymore. It gave me a headache. I ignored the first few. Then one night I answered. He didn't even say hello. "Where have you been?" I leaned back against my kitchen counter, suddenly very calm. "Around," I said, "working, seeing friends." "You can't just disappear like this," he snapped. "You've been ignoring me." I didn't raise my voice. "You told me not to contact you unless you reached out first. That's what I've been doing." Silence. Then defensive laughter. "That's not what I meant. You're taking this way too literally." I closed my eyes. "But you did mean it," I said. "You just didn't expect me to respect it." He didn't have an answer for that. Instead, his tone softened. "I miss you," he said. "Don't you miss me?" I paused. And for the first time, I didn't lie. "I miss who you were in the beginning," I said slowly. "But I don't miss how I felt lately." He didn't like that. The calls started coming at odd hours after that. Late nights, missed calls, long voicemails swinging between apology and accusation. And that's when I knew. This wasn't confusion. This was panic. Because the moment I stopped chasing, he realized he was losing control. The calls kept coming. At first, I ignored them out of habit, then out of exhaustion. Some nights, my phone would buzz at midnight, then again at 12:07, then 12:14. I'd watch it light up from across the room like it was daring me to react. The voicemails were worse. One minute, he sounded soft, almost broken. "I don't understand what's happening, Crystal. I feel like you're slipping away." The next, sharp and accusing. "You're doing this on purpose. You're trying to make me feel bad." I listened to exactly 2 of them before deleting the rest. Not because they hurt, but because they didn't. And that scared me more than anything else. A week later, I finally answered another call. Not to reconcile, not to argue. Just to end the noise. "Hey," he said quickly, like he was afraid I'd hang up. "Can we talk? Like, actually talk?" "I am talking," I said. There was a pause, then frustration crept in. "You've been so distant. Cold. This whole thing. It feels like you're punishing me." "I'm not punishing you," I replied. "I'm doing exactly what you asked." "That's not fair," he shot back. "You know what I meant." I leaned against my window, watching traffic move below, everyone going somewhere without overanalyzing every word they'd spoken that day. "Then explain it to me," I said, "because when you sent that message, it sounded pretty clear." He exhaled sharply. "I needed space," he said. "Not this." "So you needed me quiet," I said, "but still available." "That's not what I said." "But it is what you wanted." Silence again. I could almost hear him recalibrating, trying to figure out which version of himself would work best. Then his voice softened. "I just miss you," he said. "I miss my girlfriend." Something in my chest tightened, not painfully, but decisively. "I don't feel like your girlfriend," I said. "I feel like an option you check in on when it's convenient." "That's not true." "Then why did I feel like I had to earn basic attention?" I asked. "Why did I feel anxious every time I wanted to see you?" He didn't answer. Instead, he said, "You're being dramatic." And that was it. The final thread snapped. "I can't do this anymore," I said quietly. "What do you mean?" His voice sharpened. "You can't just give up." "I didn't give up," I replied. "I tried, for months. Then I respected your boundaries, and now that I'm not chasing you, suddenly I'm the problem." "You're twisting this," he said. "You're making me the bad guy." "I'm not making you anything," I said. "I'm just finally listening to how this feels." He scoffed. "So what, you're just done now?" "I'm thinking," I said honestly. "And that scares you because you don't control the outcome anymore." That sent him spiraling. The next few days were chaos. Texts asking if I was seeing someone else. Calls accusing me of manipulating him. Messages insisting we fix this without acknowledging what broke it. I stopped responding altogether. Not out of cruelty, but because every message confirmed the same truth. He didn't miss me. He missed access. And deep down, I knew this wasn't going to end quietly. Because someone who panics when you pull away is someone who never thought you'd leave. I was in the middle of a meeting when my phone finally betrayed me. It was face down in my bag, vibrating nonstop against the floor. I didn't check it, didn't even reach for it. For 2 hours, I focused on spreadsheets, deadlines, and a project that suddenly felt like a gift, something concrete that didn't require emotional interpretation. When the meeting ended and I finally looked, my stomach dropped. 11 missed calls, all from him. The texts stacked on top of each other, escalating fast. "Can we talk?" "Crystal, please. This is important. Why aren't you answering? I'm really scared right now. If you won't respond, I'll come find you." That last one was timestamped 15 minutes earlier. I was still processing it when Kelly from reception appeared at the edge of my desk. "Crystal," she said carefully, "there's someone here asking for you. Says it's urgent." My chest tightened. I already knew. I walked toward the front of the office, every step heavy, and there he was, standing at the reception desk like he belonged there, dressed well, jaw tight, eyes darting between me and the people pretending not to stare. The space went quiet in that way offices do when something personal intrudes. "What are you doing here?" I asked, keeping my voice low. "You weren't answering," he said, like that justified everything. "We need to talk." "I was in a meeting," I said. "You can't just show up here." "Well, you didn't give me a choice," he snapped. "You've been ignoring me for weeks." I felt heat rush to my face, not embarrassment, but anger. Not loud, cold. "Let's go outside," I said. The parking lot was nearly empty, the afternoon sun harsh and unforgiving. The moment the doors closed behind us, he turned on me. "You're punishing me," he said. "This whole silent thing. It's manipulative. You're trying to make me chase you, make me look crazy." "I'm not doing any of that," I said evenly. "You told me to stop contacting you. I did." "Not like this," he argued. "You weren't supposed to disappear." I looked at him then, really looked. "You wanted control," I said. "You just didn't want consequences." His expression flickered, confusion, then frustration. "I miss you," he said quickly, eyes shining. "Is that so wrong? I miss my girlfriend." Something inside me finally gave way. Not in anger, in clarity. "I don't want this anymore," I said. The words came out calm, final. He stared at me like I'd slapped him. "So that's it?" he demanded. "You're breaking up with me in a parking lot after ignoring me?" "Yes," I said. "I'm ending something that stopped being a relationship a long time ago." "You're unbelievable," he snapped. "This is exactly what I mean. You can't handle space." "I handled it," I replied. "You didn't." His voice rose. "You're controlling. You always were." I felt tired, bone-deep tired. "I'm done apologizing for existing in your life," I said. "Done waiting for permission to care. Done shrinking myself so you feel comfortable." He had nothing left but threats. "You're going to regret this," he said. "You'll realize what you lost." I didn't respond. I turned and walked back inside. This time I didn't look back. At my desk, the room felt different, quieter. Kelly didn't ask questions, neither did anyone else. I sent a short message to my manager, documenting that a personal matter had been resolved. That night, a friend called. "He reached out," she said carefully, "said you humiliated him, asked if you were seeing someone else." I closed my eyes. "I'm not," I said, "and I don't care what he thinks." Because for the first time in months, I could breathe. The silence after the breakup wasn't peaceful at first. It was loud in a different way. For the first week, my phone stayed quiet. No calls, no texts. I let myself believe maybe, just maybe, he'd finally accepted it. Then the post started. Not my name, never my name, just carefully vague captions about emotional abuse disguised as boundaries. Stories about narcissists who punish partners with silence. Videos of him crying, talking about healing, about betrayal. Anyone who knew us knew exactly who he meant. Friends started reaching out, hesitant. "I just wanted to check on you. I saw something online and thought of you. Are you okay?" I was, strangely, genuinely okay. What hurt wasn't the lies. It was realizing how long he'd been telling them. I learned later that for months he'd been painting me as needy, clingy, insecure. A girlfriend who couldn't handle him having a life. When one of my friends finally confronted him with the timeline, with the message where he told me to stop contacting him, he doubled down. "She should have known I didn't mean it like that." That sentence said everything. He wanted intuition, not communication. Compliance, not consent. When my friends didn't take his side, he accused them of betrayal, of choosing me. They walked away on their own. I didn't ask them to. About 6 weeks later, I heard he was dating someone new. The information was delivered carefully, like bad news. I felt nothing. 2 weeks after that, they broke up. Same pattern, intense, cold, accusatory, same ending. That was the moment it finally clicked. This was never about me. It never had been. 3 months after the parking lot, I got one last message. A long one. Therapy, self-awareness, attachment issues, regret, a request to talk, to find closure, to maybe try again. I read it once, then I didn't respond. Not out of anger, but because closure doesn't come from reopening doors that already taught you how to leave. My life is smaller now. Some friends didn't make the transition. Some places hold memories I don't revisit. But it's also bigger in the ways that matter. I wake up without anxiety sitting on my chest. I make plans without wondering if I'm asking for too much. I laugh more, sleep better. I've dated a little, casually, carefully, and the difference is startling. Texts exchanged because we want to. Plans made with enthusiasm. No one shrinking, no one begging. Just ease. The kind that should have been normal all along. I don't hate him. I don't wish him harm. I just don't want to live in a world where love feels like permission. That chapter is closed. And for the first time in a long time,